What's up, everybody? Divine here. I know I've been gone for a long time, but I really wanted to talk about Xiao. And I know Xiao's gone. If we look in here, dang it! I did it again. But if you look in there, you know what I mean. Actually, I can look here. I don't know why it made my life so difficult. If you look here, Zhongli and Ganyu's here, which I'm not going to talk about in this video. We're talking about Xiao, right? So Xiao. What are some of the things we're going to go over in this video off rip? First thing I want to say, before we get into all the content, like, comment, subscribe, if you do like this video, and if you do like me. It'd be very much appreciated. Yeah, let's get into it. Xiao. So, getting into Xiao, one of the things I want to talk about with Xiao off, just rip, I guess you can say, as the kids say this day, off rip, is his weaknesses and his strengths. Xiao is, as we call, a hyper carry or a DPS. You know what I mean? He does mainly damage, and that's the main thing you want to build him for is damage, crit damage. But Xiao main strength is that he's an animal damage dealer, which is one of the elements that doesn't have many enemies to really, you know what I mean, fight. So therefore, he doesn't have many actual enemy weaknesses. But if we look at the game and we look at Xiao now, we kind of can see how, like, he's not as strong as he used to be. Mainly because a lot more enemies are tankier. But, you know, that's the way life goes. But Xiao, you know, is still, I think, a strong unit for multiple reasons. For one, I think his scaling. For one, Xiao scaling is very high, as you can see, 375 with his normals, high plunge damage or high plunge damage, low plunge damage 301, normal plunge damage 150, and then you could just look at all his other multipliers. We go on to his skill, limited static wind cycling. I actually nailed that on the first try. I'm gonna keep that completely into the cut because that was amazing. 404 skill damage, level 8, of course. 10-second cooldown. You get 2 charges of these, and you can do this basically back to back, allowing you to, you know, do nice damage. Then we go to Bane of all evil, which is basically kind of like an install. If you don't know what an install is in fighting game terms, it's basically when you just power up a character. So basically, Xiao does not actually do a huge instance of burst damage. Instead, he powers up his normals and not his limited static wind cycling, but his normals, charged, and plunge attacks here, as you can see through that bonus number. Xiao scales mainly off of attacks, so the main thing you want to be running on Xiao is attack percentage. We look here, attack percentage, animal damage, and crit damage. He scales off of crit rate as well, so this makes, you know, getting crit rate kind of easy on him. Like, as you can see, I'm running crit damage, and I'm running an energy recharge weapon that, of course, yeah, I have R2 somehow. I don't understand. But yeah, which gives me 10% crit rate. So yeah, if you take off 10% crit rate here, we have 51 crit, which is still good. Because if you look at someone like Ito, who also scales off of crit rate, he has around the same, and he is running a crit damage circlet as well. So yeah, you know what I mean. If we look at this, this is kind of actually very good because it allows you to be very, very good with how you build characters. Like, of course, I'm using Ito here as an example, but this will work with Xiao as well if you had a Black Cliff polearm. But 200 crit damage easily. And you have a steady crit rate. And if you run Cryo Resonance, you know what I mean? That's, you know what I mean, 15% more crit. So you would be at what, like 60-something crit? So, yeah, it's very much sustainable with units like Xiao. And him being animal, he actually just swirls elements around. So running like cryo resonance room is actually very good. But we'll get into team comps a little bit later. Moving on, let's talk about weapons. right? Weapons for Xiao consist of a lot of options. A lot of them I don't have. So we're gonna go to the weapon archive and proceed to look at them. Uh, actually, we won't even be able to look at them. Oh, that's materials. But it will still, I still know most of the weapons because I've indulged myself in this Xiao rabbit hole of information for too long. So I can still, give you the gist on the weapons I would say are good. Don't mind me, I'm just stupid. But starting off here, Blackcliff Polearm, the standout. I mean, the standout. If you want the polearm to get, if you're free to play, save up your little star coin thingies. I forgot what they're called. The little star medallions, and you get you a Blackcliff polearm. This is gonna give you, I think, like 55% crit damage, and I think 510% base attack, if I am correct about the way this works. I don't remember how much crit rate Deathmatch gives you, but Deathmatch gives you crit rate because every Battle Pass weapon gives you crit rate. So Deathmatch gives you crit rate. I don't know the passive of this weapon, but it should be relatively okay with Xiao. Just be off of the simple fact of you're getting crit rate, which is nice. So then you would never actually have to, like, you'll probably be able to crit every time with this, actually. With this weapon. You'll probably be able to crit, like, every time and just go straight into crit damage substats. But these are the two standout weapons. 4-star weapons, I would say, if you want to run with Xiao. Crescent Pike, you know what I mean? Can be ran on Xiao, can be. But I wouldn't recommend it. You know what I mean? Physical Xiao isn't all that. Prototype Star Glitter, I actually do kind of say, like, if you can't get Blackcliff Polearm nor Deathmatch, Prototype Star Glitter is not bad. You won't have energy problems. And the passive, I don't know if it actually, no, you can't look at the passive in here. But the passive actually is very good for Xiao because once you use the elemental skill, you increase your, I think, normal and charged attack damage by like a small kind of percentage, but that stacks 2 times, and that can be triggered, I think, every 12 seconds. So you can, I think, infinitely have that up. So that's kind of awesome because he has 2 charges. So that's kind of awesome. But you know what I mean? It's not like you're gonna see the most biggest numbers on this weapon. So like, don't expect to see the biggest numbers, but it'll get the job done. Favonius is also really good because it gives you a high base while also giving you some energy. But I think it would be better on someone like a Shangling because Shangling is a dedicated support. But like, it also can be very good on Xiao because it would allow Xiao to get energy in his burst. So like, if you have an R5 Favonius Lance, or just a Favonius Lance that's level 90, use it actually. I got rid of mine because I thought this weapon was trash. Sadly, it's not trash. I'm just stupid. Early game mistakes. Early game mistakes. Don't use Dragon Spawn Spear. Catan Cross is actually, I think, very, like, decent. Okay? You might be, like, shaking your, like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? But I used this weapon, I think, at a level 70, and it was like 429 base. So I think the base attack might be very high for this weapon. I don't know the confirmed, like, level 90 base for this weapon, but it's probably high considering that it was 400 already. And with that being said, you also get Elemental Mastery and increased skill damage, but you also lose energy while also gaining energy. So like, it's all up to you because you gain more energy than you lose energy. So unlike Shimenawa's, it's not actually, you're not losing here. But in a way, it's also not like the best spear to run on Xiao. So like, if you want to run this spear on Xiao, run it. I actually think it might be better than Prototype Star Glitter and all the other free-to-play weapons, off of the simple fact of base attack. And the fact you're increasing elemental skill damage by 6%. And that increases as you get refinements. And this is free to play. On Xiao, who has a stupidly high scaling, skill, of course, take it. I'm gonna take that. Yeah. Primordial J-Wing Spear, his standout weapon. Crit rate, nice. More damage as you do damage, nice. I don't know much about these 5 stars. So like most 5 stars is actually gonna be very good on him. The one I would say is a weird choice is Primordial. No, not Primordial J. I always got these two mixed up, but Vortex Vanquisher. Because that increases your shield strength, which is more better aligned for Zhongli, but it gives you raw attack, which Zhongli does not actually need. So like, it wouldn't be bad. It really wouldn't be bad. None of these is really bad for Xiao. The two standouts I would say is Primordial J-Wing Spear and Calamity Queller. Calamity Queller, actually no, Staff of Homa as well. I almost forgot Staff of Homa was completely right there. Because Hu Tao completely took my mind every time I look at it. Like, that's Hu Tao and Zhongli Spear to me. But it gives you an insane amount of crit damage. And it's one of the only spears that give you crit damage. So, yeah, this is also a good spear. And Xiao actually has high, I would say he has high HP stats. Like, my Xiao is always running 20k HP. So, even if you're not running, like, a shit ton of HP, this will still be good, I think. It'll still be good. But those are his weapons. A Golf of Lightning is, like I said, decent. It's a decent option. But that's mainly Xiao and what he provides. When it comes to his artifacts, I'm not going to lie. I don't really feel like going over his artifacts because, truth be told, his artifacts aren't really like anything special. Really, you want to run either Viridescent, 2-piece Viridescent, and 2-piece attack set, Shimenawa's or Glad. Or Shimenawa's and Glad. That's really it. There is no real 4-piece set for Xiao. So you can run all these wacky sets on him other than, let me say, like the elemental burst damage ones. Anything elemental burst damage on Xiao is not worth it. It's not good. And the reason I say that is because Xiao's burst is an install. As you see, he does not do damage. The damage comes from this. And so that's what I'm saying. It comes from his plunges, which are boosted. And so the thing about Xiao is with his artifacts, there is no real point in like getting any other artifact sets other than 2-piece Glad, 2-piece Shimenawa's, which you will kind of naturally get. And Shimenawa's is farmable, so like, that can work. But, the thing I kind of want to close off with, though, in this video is tips for newer Xiao players getting into Xiao. The thing about Xiao that might deter you a little bit with Xiao is that he is kind of squishy. When you play Xiao, as you can see right here, he's going to be low HP. You're not going to have much HP. You're going to be needing, that machine. I forgot this machine's name. But you're going to be needing this machine. You're going to be needing a shielder. You're going to be needing, a healer, and you're going to be needing to keep this man safe. And the reason is because he just does damage. As you can see, 19k on his E. You know what I mean? And that's what I mean about Xiao. Xiao is just good. Look. I think I'm about to get my ult back here. Yeah, about to get my ult back here. And as we see here, 26, dead. Like that. And don't get me wrong, through a longer sustained battle, you'll see like the issues of Xiao. You'll see his HP drain, you'll see his squishiness, you'll see all of it. But the thing about Xiao that I would say that always will make him good and that will always make him actually reliable is the fact that he has consistent damage. And I don't mean like in terms of like how Ganyu kind of like, this is not in the same sense of how Ganyu is, but it is in the same sense of how Ganyu is. Because Ganyu has a consistent source of damage through her, arrows, while Xiao has a consistent source of damage through his plunged attacks. The difference between Xiao is he is highly mobile as he fights. He is highly mobile. 9 times out of 10, most enemies won't even be able to touch him unless you're fighting like a Hydro Abyss Mage, which can trap him in his bubble or Rip Hounds. There's plenty of enemies out there that actually can nullify Xiao, but like most enemies won't have a chance to, if you get what I'm trying to say. Like, he will output so much damage if you have his burst, or both of these up, that you'll literally see enemies die. And if you was noticing, his normals, without any physical damage, just are good. I think I did shred their physical. Well, no, actually, I don't think I used beta. I don't think I used beta during that. I don't think I did shred their physical rest. But as you can see, Xiao is a pretty just overall consistent unit. That's what he's known for. And that's what I would praise him. But where I would fault him and, you know, say that he's bad is in the department of being very, you know, sturdy. He's going to last forever, and that he's going to be the best unit that you ever pulled. No, but if you're looking for a fun unit to have fun, who's very flexible, to be honest, people make it seem as if he's not. But the truth about Xiao is he actually is very flexible, because if you go into here, right, I'm not going to make this too long because I do want to close the video. If you go into here, I'm just going to literally say like a few comps, which is simple. Beto, running him with Beto, Beto swirl comp, taser comp, Beto taser comp, you know, double cryo resistance, double animal resistance, Chung Yun, Xiao, double animal, double cryo, exorcist team, that's good, you know what I mean? There's plenty of teams that, you know what I mean, can benefit Xiao. But the thing that makes Xiao just always stand out is that no matter what team you place Xiao in, if he has the right stats, the right, you know what I mean, things on him, the right weapon, and the right circumstance, he's going to just output straight damage. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. You're going to see those 20Ks. Even that's actually the low number. Now that I think about it, because like with Staff of Homa, you'll see like 30Ks and higher numbers, but like you'll always see a 20K-esque number. And so that's where I get at with Xiao, is that he will always do some form of damage. You know what I mean? That damage is highly dependent on what you have, but he will always really kind of do damage compared to, you know what I mean, 4-star and other units. So if you feel as if Xiao is a bad unit, or that you may have pulled a unit who might not be good later down the road, don't feel bad. Because there will always be better units to get, and there are always going to be more units to come, and more chances to get other units. But Xiao is also a very good unit, and he's going to be very fun if you have him. To all those who did get Xiao, to all those who didn't get Xiao, I wish you did get Xiao. I want to say that first before I congratulate the people who did get Xiao. To all those who did get Xiao, congratulations. I hope you're enjoying the character, and I welcome you into the Xiao community. And if you need, you know, Xiao tips or guides, I'm here. You know, like, comment, subscribe, all that is very much appreciated. And see you. That would be the video, and bye. Have a nice day.